All right. It is Friday, April 25th. It is not quite 10 p.m., about 9:54 my time. Um, Welcome. My results for my Ancestry DNA blah 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 came in, and I have some things that I can share with you. I can't share a lot because, I don't want to ruin anybody's privacy. I don't want to be that bitch. But I can share some stuff with you, and there's actually a lot to go over. I was going to do a whole video of just the first time I saw my results and whatnot, but then I was like, wow, that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit to go through. There's like 7 different regions across the world that my DNA came from, so there's a whole bunch of reading that goes along with that. And I figured I'm just going to break that up into like 7 different videos cuz that's a lot of crap for one video, and there's only so much rambling that I'm sure people can take. All right, so let's get to it. Here we go. I am the Leanax, and welcome to my drunk ancestry. Blessed be. Okay. So, if anybody from that's Facebook friends with me followed the little link that had some DNA results, here we go. I totally downloaded the fucking app. Oh, don't look at that. Here we go. But there was DNA Insight Learnings. Damn it! Where is the one for all the fucking my journey and shit? Okay, here's my DNA. New. Psh. Oh, come on. This is. Oh, here we go. Haha! Here we go. Performance, all traits, personality, sensory. No, I want to know, like, fucking. Not my traits. Origins. There we go. Okay. So. This I can share. Okay, I'm not sure how well you might be able to see it. There's some colors that aren't showing up because the screen. Oh, there we go. So up here, these ones are basically native. That's what they say, native to like different parts here. I have some parts over here that are like just kind of England, Europe, kind of, and then there's Germanic Europe, and then there's Spain, and then there's some other things too. Like I said, it's a lot of. Why the fuck? Come on, don't be a fucking dick. There we go. Okay. DNA, thank you. Okay, so what I can do is I can like click on like that, and it says Indigenous American. It says Indigenous shit. So, there's, like I said, there's 7 different areas. Indigenous Americas, North, England and Northern Europe, Spain, Portugal, Scotland, and that's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, that's 7. So with each one of these little things is a whole bunch of information, and then there's like a little story and shit. And since there's like 7 different ones, I was going to do like a different one each week because I did not realize how exhausting making videos is, and even just planning this shit. It's like, So today is just a little going over thing. And then I think the next video will be an actual reading of the information that I got with my little commentary here and there. I apologize for my sweating. It's so fucking hot right now, and I don't know why. Oh, wait, yeah, I do, because I had alcohol. Anyway, so the first one, Indigenous Americas, Mexico, that is 43% of my DNA. 24% is Germanic Europe, which is how I get the bingo wings. Oh, I'm terrible. Okay, next we have Indigenous Americas North, that is 14%. England and Northern Europe, or Northwestern Europe, is 14%. Spain is 3%, and Portugal is 1%. Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know this. Portugal is like right in here, but then also it counts some of these little islands too because they're the same color. So that's pretty cool. And then 1% Scotland. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now, each one of these little things, for example, again, like I'm only showing shit that I can because privacy and whatnot. I don't want to be a dick. But each one of these little things here, it's got more information. So in the next video, I'm going to read all of this information and have my little comments and questions and maybe write down some shit that I want to look into deeper. I don't know yet. I have actually gotten a lot of matches DNA wise, and I don't think this is what do you call it? Breaking anybody's privacy because most of the people on this tree are dead and they don't give a fuck. So, um, here's kind of how the trees go. Is like, oh, I don't even know how well you can see this, but I'm a noob and this is literally the best I can do. But anyway, here's me, and then there's me and my mom and my dad, and then some of their. What the fuck? I don't know. Anyway, so you can add more people to your tree. Um, and sometimes information on them pops up in other spots. Like my grandma, my gram, I added her to my tree, and then all of a sudden I'm getting like notifications like, "Oh, hey, did you see her obituary?" So I'm like, "Fuck no, I've never actually seen her obituary." Um, Same for her husband, my grandpa. I had never seen his obituary. I was a child when he died, and I was like, hey, this is actually pretty neat stuff. You know, like there's death certificates, birth certificates. So I learned information like I did not know her middle name was, what is it, Constance? I think it's Constance. Lida Constance Snyder. And I knew her as Rumley, but her maiden name was Snyder. And then that went down a rabbit hole with a whole bunch of other relatives. And the people that I thought, or the side of my family that I thought would have the most um, European, I guess, in it, I thought it was honestly going to be my mother's side because on her side, her mom um, was this blonde haired. I think she had green eyes. She had light colored eyes. She did not have dark eyes, but she was blonde haired and light skin and light eyed. And then my mom was like dark hair, olive skin, kind of hazel eyes. And then I'm dark hair. And it's just, I thought that that was going to be the line. But no, it turns out it's actually on my father's side that a lot of the European shit comes from. I'm like, fuck. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, God, it is fucking hot in here. Do I have a hair tie anywhere? Come on. You would think in my I Spy fucking aesthetic, I would have a fucking hair tie somewhere. Oh, 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 oh. Are you a hair tie? You are not a hair tie. Fuck you. Ah, I just want a fucking hair tie. Fine, fuck it. I'll suffer through it. This isn't supposed to be a long video anyway. Um, but yeah, that's it was interesting. I was literally up until 3 in the morning because I was looking at stuff that had to do with my gram, and then that led to stuff that had to do with her husband, my grandpa, and then that brought up issues with emotions because I was young enough to not really remember his death, but I was old enough that I could remember him having Alzheimer's and forgetting who I was. And as a kid, that kind of confuses the shit out of you because you're like, wait a minute, this is my grandpa. You know, how does he not know who I am? He loves me and blah, blah, blah. And it's really confusing for a kid. So I can only imagine that the hell that my grandma went through because that was her husband. That was her life partner. That was the love of her life. That was just to watch him deteriorate and then not be able to be with him anymore and then to have him forget you entirely. That's a special kind of hell. I don't even. My gran was a tough woman. That was a badass bitch right there. Anyway, um, I don't know what else to say about right now. There's not a lot that I can really show you because I am not savvy enough to have my screen share whatever I'm looking at on the internet. So that's kind of useless. What else though? Oh, this is kind of neat though. Through the Ancestry thing, I have found some family members. There's I haven't connected with them, but it's interesting to see who has agreed to submit their DNA for this kind of thing. One of them reached out to me, and now I'm a Facebook member on a group for their ancestry um, journey. So that was actually kind of cool that somebody else reached out to me. There's another person at the top of my list that shares a huge portion of my DNA, and it says it's either a half brother or an uncle. And I don't think it's a half brother. I think all of my parents know if they have kids or not. Um, so it's probably an uncle. I'm not sure. They have all of their shit set to private, and as much as I want to ask and reach out, it feels really fucking weird. Like, I know that's the whole point of this, but I also feel like I'm invading people's privacy. I understand, yes, you put your shit on this site and you're looking for other people, but it still feels like an invasion. And I don't know. I don't know. I might just have to get over that. I don't fucking know. I'll fucking deal with it. I'll cross that bridge. I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Oh god, malforms are hilarious. Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that might probably do it for today because there's not that much information, but my stuff did come in. Um, there's a lot of I have so many freaking second and third cousins. It's ridiculous. But that's a good thing though because that means the genes are being spread out, No, nobody likes a shallow gene pool. Um so yes. There's a couple that are pretty high up on the genetic whatever, the matching closer sibling relative whatever. Uh like one first cousin, but mostly a lot of second cousins and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. Um there are some things on there. Ooh, that'll be a fun one because I've gone over some time right now. I didn't want to be like more than 15 minutes of just rambling bullshit. But there's traits. And I went through the traits and I'm looking at some of them and they tell you which ones you got from your father's side, your paternal side, or your mother's side, your maternal side. That still trips me up because father and paternal don't seem like they should go together. But mom and or mother and maternal do match. So thank you, English language. But they're lists of traits, and I'm looking at some of them. And I'm like, no, that is not me at all. You were just wrong on this front. So it's obviously still a work in progress. But some of them are kind of funny, and it'll show you too which ones you get from both parents. So things like my dark hair, my earlobes, my detached earlobes, because some people have them where they're attached right there, and I don't. So that's one thing. The ability to do this. It says only my father can do it, but my mom can do it, so I call bullshit on that. Um, there's a whole bunch of them, and I'll probably go through the list. I just don't want to do it right now because I'm actually really tired. Um, I work in a pub, and I work in the kitchen portion of the pub, and Friday and Saturday nights tend to be really busy. And maybe I'm not making a lot of food, but it's filled with loud, drunk Midwesterners, and it can it's pretty overwhelming sometimes. But it was a good night. It was a good night. It was busy. I'm just really tired. Um, alcohol is starting to kick in because I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I got home, I was like, "Oh yes, please give me a shot. My body hurts. People suck." And that also gave me the I don't give a fuck attitude I needed to do this because this is actually still very difficult because yes, I'm talking to a screen right now, but on the other hand, there might be people on the other side that take time out of their day to watch my bullshit, which I appreciate. Um, but it's still the idea of being perceived to be seen. I'm not comfortable with it and I don't like it. So this whole thing right here is me stepping out of my comfort zone and trying to do better and expand my world. Because, if you're, it's no fun being stagnant. It makes you sad, it makes you depressed, and nothing ever gets done. Anyway, so I think that's about it for now. In a few days, I will have the first thing to read, which I believe we will shrink down. We will start with the Indigenous Americas, Mexico. Now, I started to read a little bit on that, and my first thought was, wow, I should have paid more attention in history when I was in middle school, because a lot of the shit that they're saying here was actually taught. I was born in New Mexico, and I went to school up until I think 8th grade. Yeah, I think yeah, because I did high school in California when we moved. So from the time I was in kindergarten, preschool till the time 8th grade graduation, I was in the New Mexico education system. So we learned about our state. We learned about our state bird. We learned about our state flower, and I wish that back then, or that I could go back in time and tell little me to enjoy class more. But it is hard when people are telling you that you're stupid. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, teachers. When you tell your kids that they're stupid, they're not going to want to try. This isn't to say that all the teachers, it's just my teachers. My teachers sucked. I don't know what to tell you. Not all teachers are like that. Some are really, really fucking awesome. And those are the teachers that we actually need more of, the ones that listen to kids. And yeah, fucking listen and pay attention and actually give a shit and don't see a kid who maybe can't read as fast as the rest of the class as a burden or a moron. And maybe if you think that, keep that shit to yourself. Anyway, so I think that's about it for today. I think that's about it because I really, really, really want to go crochet something. I don't know what. Do I want to crochet or do I want to spin? I'm a fucking weird ass person, and I just like old lady crafts. I've liked old lady crafts my whole life. And actually I'm kind of interested in some of the Scotland stuff, because there's sheep and wool in Scotland. I don't fucking know. I am interested in why some crafts are more appealing than others, like spinning floof into yarn. I can go to the store and buy yarn. We live in an age where I literally can go to a store and buy yarn. Although now with tariffs, it's probably going to be more expensive because of the materials that go into making acrylic yarn, aka plastic, and just importing wool from other places and yarn. It's going to get really fucking expensive. So take from that what you will. But it's fun to make. It's really nice to have an end product. I don't have any to show you. I'll gather some shit that I've made before, but I've actually taken some yarn, spun it into, or taken some wool, some the alcohol is kicking in now, finally, yay. Floof, the wool that comes off the sheep when it's all clean and combed up and fluffed up and nice stuff. But I've taken a whole bunch of that, spun it into yarn, not even on a spinning wheel. Oh my god, I would love a spinning wheel. A spinning wheel would be so fucking cool. But no, I did this shit on a drop spindle, which is a stick that has a disc on top, and you spin it and it twists the yarn, and it's all done by hand. It's a very long process, but it is actually very soothing. That's why I'd like a spinning wheel, because it's rhythmic, so I could just enjoy the mindless activity where my hands are still busy, but something productive is getting done. Yeah. Okay, again, holy crap, this is almost 20 minutes. I didn't want to go that long. Okay. So yes, maybe this weekend I will read the first portion, which is the Indigenous Americas Mexico portion. And then the next one will be the Germanic Europe, because I'm going to go with like the highest portion of where my DNA comes from. And Indigenous Americas North. So all the Indigenous Americas. That's where my ancestors are from. The vast majority of it. And then England and Northwestern Europe. So that's interesting too, because obviously that means some of my ancestors were immigrants. Some of my ancestors were already here, and then some were immigrants, and then some were like, the Spaniards that came over and did their bullshit to the Indians and all that shit. That's another thing though. I was looking at I was reading some of this history, and it's very, very much like how you would expect a school textbook to be. Like, it completely whitewashes over all the terrible things that were done to the indigenous people when settlers came over and, claimed their land and all that bullshit. So I'm trying to take everything with a grain of salt, because it's just trying to give you some basic information. It's trying to stay neutral for all of the crap that went on. But maybe that's some shit that I need to investigate on my own. There's a library and there's the internet and blah, blah, blah. So who the fuck knows? It's still really hot in here. Okay, yes, I think I'm going to call it a night, because now I am tired. I'm a little bit drunk, and I am definitely snacky. I don't know what to eat. There's got to be something in the kitchen. Oh my God. I made lasagna yesterday. That shit took me all fucking day. It took me like an hour to make the sauce from scratch. It took like 40 minutes for the shit to bake in the oven. And then another 30 to 40, because you're not supposed to cut in to lasagna as soon as it comes out, or it'll fall apart and be gross. But it came out so good. It's so good. So I might go eat some more of that, and I'll probably regret it because it's red sauce and I'll get heartburn, but I don't give a fuck because it was fucking delicious. So yes, I'm going to go eat and finish the rest of my drink. Thank you for joining me. I think maybe in a couple days I'll put up another video, because like I said, it actually took me a long time to do this one. Irrational fear? I don't know what to fucking say. It's just, I don't know. I wanted to do it. I knew the thing needed to be done because I had told people, and then I just couldn't do the thing. But here we are. So thank you for your patience. Holy shit, this is 23 minutes now. All right, cool. Thank you for watching. I will be back in a couple days, maybe a week. I'm not sure. It depends on how my mental health goes. But take care. Night.